Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony.
Listen Vision, Listen Vision, DC's #1 recording studio.
Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. News, sports, truth with comedy. Community mixed with a little celebrity. Every Thursday night at 6 in the evening. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea.
It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony.
Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea, louder!
Thursday Night Tea, Thursday Night Tea, Thursday Night Tea.
Welcome to Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. I'm your host, of course, Anthony Oaks. We thank you for tuning in. We're here at the district, in the district capital, Washington, D.C., here at Listen Vision Live, Listen Vision Studios here in the capital. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We have an amazing show today, but first up to bat. I admire this lady. Her hard work and perseverance is like, it's uncanny. Hardest working lady in showbiz. She runs several shows out in Adams Morgan, Attack of the Comics, what's the other one? Solly's, what is it, Solly's? First, second, third Tuesdays. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to give a warm round of applause for my heart, Teresa Concepcion.
Thank you, Anthony. Is this on? We're good? Okay. Well, hi, everybody. I am so happy to be here, and I'm very, very happy it's Thursday because that means it's almost the weekend. Just one more day. I'm new to D.C. relatively. I've been here since September, and I'm a lawyer in my day job, which is like impresses no one in this city, just no one at all. It's like lawyers, baristas, and construction workers are the top 3 professions in this city. And when I commute, I usually just like have a work dress. I got my sneakers. I got the backpack. You got to be prepared when you take the metro in this city, I've learned. But the other day, this guy comes up to me, and his pickup line was, "Yo, you look just like Nicki Minaj." Then he goes, no, Kim Kardashian. But better, because you're regular. I was like, what? And he was like, nah, I'm just saying. She's a celebrity. And he points to my sneakers and he goes, she makes an effort. Yeah. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I consider myself the Statue of Liberty of Men. You know, it's never the brother in the suit. It's always, send her you're poor, and you're tired, and you're pathetic, huddled masses. Let me tell you, the other day, I was actually having lunch with my business partner, and he was trying to cheer me up. And he was like, girl, you're so beautiful. I don't know why you're down on yourself all the time. Look at you. Look at all your suitors. And we were walking by a construction site, and I was like, really? Those are my suitors? That's as good as it gets? And it's like, I'm not trying to be mean, but I really am. And here's the thing. For me, it's never, ever the guy with the clipboard. It is always the guy with the stop and slow sign. you know? And then, depending on his ethnicity, he becomes a priest when you walk by. He's like, God bless you, mommy, God bless you. It's terrible. It's terrible. And I'm like, I'm 35. I'm never married. I have no children. I am basically the perfect man. Hands down, I would be cleaning up in these streets if I was a dude. But instead, like all my friends and like family members my age have already gotten, married, had kids. And so now it's time for like the new generation. So my 26-year-old aunt just got engaged. Yeah, he's like, no. And I'm like, yeah, well, here's the thing. I'm also Puerto Rican. And we don't just have one family. When you're Hispanic, you have 5. So Grandpa was like, I think I got one more thing. So that bitch got engaged. And she didn't even call me. She put that on Instagram. He proposed in front of the Eiffel Tower. She's planning this like cliffside wedding. I'm really happy for her. No. But here's the thing. I called her and I was trying to be the bigger person. And I was like, look, good for you. Congratulations. You got a big rock on your finger. You got someone to split the bills with. You're getting laid on a regular basis. Like, I know I do not have to get you a gift. Right? Is anyone else in this with me? Like, I have been single for a long time, and I think I deserve a good for you girl, here are some towels party. That is really expensive. Have you been to Bed Bath & Beyond lately? The stuff that I need is just so much. Where is my party? Like for Christmas, I asked my mom for a toaster. It was a beautiful toaster, 4 slices. Each slice gets its own temperature. My toaster is from college because I have loans. And so it was for free that I got for opening a checking account. It's got 2 temperatures. It's got flaccid and burnt. Those are the 2 temperatures for this toaster. Wow. And so I told my mom, I was like, I want this toaster. And my mom goes to me, she's like, ay, mija, why do you need to slice 4 slices? You're alone. She's like, plus, with those hips, you shouldn't be eating bread. And now that we have introduced you to me, please stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more Tea with Anthony.
Hey.
DC's #1 recording studio.
Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea.
It's Thursday night tea with Alex and Anthony.
Thursday night tea with Alex and Anthony. News, sports, truth with comedy. Community mixed with a little celebrity. Every Thursday night at 6 in the evening. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea.
It's Thursday night tea with Alex and Anthony.
Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Alex and Anthony.
Welcome back to Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. I'm your host. Today I have a very special co-host. Ladies and gentlemen, Teresa Concepcion. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You know I love you, baby.
I love you too.
We perform a lot together. She puts me on a lot of her shows and vice versa. She has a really great spirit. She's super funny and she's hardworking. I appreciate you for all that you do and for who you are. Because
thank you.
No, really, you know as well as I do how tough it is out here to find genuine people.
I know, it's true. I message Anthony all the time. Like, people are being so mean to me.
Yo, it's tough out here, you
Yeah.
know. So it's good that you can meet people that you don't have to put up pretenses or guards around, and I appreciate you for
Oh,
that.
thank you. I appreciate you back.
Well, I appreciate that. So
Now that
we
we've
are
appreciated the crap out of each other.
okay. We're here in the District of Columbia. Welcome to Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. We're gonna hop right in because we've got so many special guests for you today. We have an amazing award-winning spoken word artist, Girl Genius, in the house. Girl Genius will be blazing up the stage along with a super talented, super funny, hilarious comedian, Mike B. Mike Brown in the house today will be
Mike
also blazing the stage up. So we're gonna hop right into this to the news.
All right, what's up?
Yeah, the White House.
Oh my God.
As we know, the White House is changing ever more every day. I feel like it's just turning colors. Oh, yeah. Yep, it's changing right before our very eyes.
Is that a real Time cover?
Yes,
Did
it is.
I didn't
Isn't
see
that crazy that it's real?
That's on Time magazine. Wow.
How impactful. For those who don't know, that is the Kremlin mixed with the White House. You know, half White House, half Russia. So that's pretty much Donald Trump. What is going on in the White House?
I don't know. All I know is that I'm kind of happy right now I don't have kids. Because
Well, you know I don't like kids.
It's
Baby
just like-
traders.
it's so difficult to explain to like another adult. You know what I mean? But like everything that's coming out of that building, it's just like one disaster after another, and as soon as you get your head wrapped around it, you know, something else happens. So I don't even know how this is legal.
Is it?
It can't be legal. I'm trying to think it through. And I'm just wondering why it is that our government, other two branches of government, have been so slow. Well, really, it's the legislative branch that we really need to rely on to keep the executive in check, because the judiciary branch only really responds to lawsuits, right? So if Trump does a travel ban, someone sues, and then it's at that point where a judge can step in and say, okay, that's constitutional or not. But what we really need is the Republican and Democrats to figure their crap out in the legislative branch and try to put a stop to some of these things that are going on, because it baffles me.
It really, yes, definitely. I'm just utterly flabbergasted that for the sake of our country, they can't work together.
Yeah, I
it's
don't know.
It's so simple
Yeah.
to work together.
I don't know. I don't even know like why we can't have like another election. Like, just
Now,
kinda
is that legal?
Can we have a do-over? Because everybody's pretty much conceded that there was interference. You know, I don't know. Like maybe we should have like a special, like, okay, whoops.
I don't know. I feel like there are
Do-over.
two worlds that we live in: what's really going on and what they allow us to see. Like, I don't know. It's super weird. So everybody's getting fired. Who's gonna be left?
That's funny. I think Jared should be fired next. I don't even know if he has a technical job, but he shouldn't be there.
I
And
feel like he
Ivanka
should be
shouldn't
fired, and Jared, just like Jared from Subway. Like if Jared from Subway gets fired, he should be fired.
That's a good, sure, we can go with that.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
want them to totally get it together. Now, this is definitely what I wanted to talk to you about. You being an attorney, Baltimore police caught faking and planting evidence with their body cams. They got caught by their own body cams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the rest of the footage, well, I think we have a picture of how they handle their, it's like a little dog, the Baltimore police.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, that's the Baltimore police commissioner. They just swore him in.
That's funny.
I mean, it's super.
I mean, it's sad, but it's funny.
What's sad is that the officers that they have the tape on, they weren't even suspended.
Oh,
They were referred to, what is it? IA, Internal Affairs.
Affairs, yeah.
IA. What are the legalities for that?
okay. Well, first, this is my disclaimer that I'm not licensed to practice in D.C. and I don't do criminal law. So all of this is just my opinion as a lay person, kind of like Nancy Grace. I'm the Puerto
But
Rican
cuter.
Nancy Grace of Anthony.
But
with
cuter.
Yes, super cute. I think a few things, right? Like you obviously can't do things as a police officer in the course of your employment as a police officer, right? So that opens up, if someone does something that violates someone else's constitutional rights, then that's, opening up for like a 1983 lawsuit, Section 1983. And so that's a suit that presumably whoever was investigated by those officers now has a claim to like have their cases reopened, have their cases reexamined. And if that planting of the evidence led to the conviction of a particular person, that person can have their case reexamined, but also would probably be able to sue the city and those officers for damages. So, I mean, it's a serious thing whenever you have officers like breaking the law in that way, because, we do have a right as citizens to due process. And so if anyone's trying to interfere with that right, then we do have remedies. It's just a matter of citizens being aware of the fact that, you do have these remedies. And so I would always encourage anybody to, and in any, confrontation with the law, to just never talk to anybody until you get a lawyer. I mean, you have to give certain information, but I love it when people confess to crimes. When the cop says, "Hey," be like, "I did it." Like, no, just
not on the first 48. You have to go in that little room and put your arms inside your shirt and freeze a little bit before you get it.
Yeah, like no communication until you have an attorney present is like the primary rule of thumb. Not even in the car, because a lot of cars have audio recordings in those. So, I think just people just need to be a little bit more aware about their rights, and to do that, you can go online. Everyone's got smartphones. You can go to your public defender's offices. You can look for legal aid. There are a lot of different resources out there that I think people need to educate themselves on. But certainly for these people, like I said, anyone who was investigated by those police officers, in my opinion, if they knew, those attorneys should be looking to have those cases reopened.
Definitely. And it wasn't just one case. There were multiple body cam the footage, it was from multiple cameras, so multiple cops are being investigated, which is, it's a travesty. It's a travesty. So next on the list, affirmative action. Donald Trump wants to do away with it, but the kind that they want to investigate are white people being discriminated getting into universities. Now, I just read an article about how like the Asian Association has a lawsuit against Harvard for discriminating against Asian Americans, saying that they're too smart. Like they have they have perfect scores on all of their tests, and then they have the the drama club, all the extracurricular activities, but they're being passed over as minorities to be granted membership into Harvard.
Yeah. Okay. So a few things about affirmative action. So the history of affirmative action is, if you look at the way particularly the Black community in this country has been suppressed, right? You have lower wages than white counterparts, you live in poorer neighborhoods, and then schools today are funded by tax dollars, right? Property taxes. So if you live in a rich neighborhood where the property taxes are high, you're going to have a better school in that neighborhood versus if you live in the inner city. So there are that's commonly known, historical disadvantages that minority students, particularly Blacks and Hispanics, have had to endure. And so when you don't get the same level of education, right, but you don't get the same AP classes, you don't get the same math classes, you don't get the same exposure to Shakespeare and all those other things in your school because you just don't have those resources, but you still excel, affirmative action is just a way to give those students like a way in the door to better universities so that they're not perpetually held back even more, right? That's the design of what affirmative action is. And there have been lots of Supreme Court cases about the ways in which you have to calculate, right? Some schools were giving points. Okay, if you came from like a poor neighborhood, you got so many points. If you got like, one parent, or this is your ethnicity, like there are different ways that schools have tried to do it because they do try to actually be fair to everybody. So what's funny to me about the Trump thing is that his son-in-law, Jared, got into Harvard by another way. It's like the white version of affirmative action is called legacy admission. So if you go to a college and your grandfather went to that school and your great-grandfather, who does that? Generational wealthy families have those kinds of legacies at the most predominant
Whereas
schools.
our families have first-generation college.
Right, but what they'll do is that even if you're not necessarily qualified, they'll let you in. If you give a donation, if your family's gone there. So what people don't talk about is the fact that Jared got in because his family made a donation. They talked to 2 senators. Even though he was nowhere near the top of his class, he still got to go to Harvard.
He was actually at the bottom of his class.
Yeah. So, so it's just funny to me because what we're trying to do is we're trying to correct a historical wrong that perpetuates today and that permeates today by allowing people to, have a shot if they're really, really striving and they're really, really working hard. It doesn't mean that it's taking away a spot of somebody else. It just means that we're giving this person the same consideration.
Well, I know I think I have a pic of a college that everyone can go to where they don't have to, Everest, Mount Everest. You can definitely go there and be free from any type of affirmative action. What are you doing? Are you on your couch? Call 1-800. Yeah, that's super crazy.
Someone's here.
We have a guest. Let's go see who it is. Oh, we have a guest. We have a guest. Let me help you off the stage. We have a guest. We have a guest. Who is the guest? Who is the guest? And we're talking about colleges and universities. Look who's here. We have Tim McDuffie. Ladies and gentlemen, give Tim McDuffie a round of applause.
Hello, hello, hello.
Come on, you want to sit over here with me? Okay. Yeah, come on, we can get in here.
I don't get the pretty lady.
Oh, well, you can squeeze in. You can be in the middle.
Oh my God, really, guys? Let's just do fight over me later.
So, Tim, you are from UDC, University of DC. Could you please tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I'm here representing the University of the District of Columbia. We are the only land-grant institution here in Washington, D.C. We are one of 2 HBCUs, historically black colleges, here in the district, the University of the District of Columbia as well as Howard University.
A lot of people didn't know that UDC was an HBCU.
Yes, it is. We are. We are actually, we're one of the oldest institutions in the city, as a matter of fact. We are Washington, D.C.'s public institution. As you know, Howard is a private institution. We are the only public institution here in the Washington, D.C. for its residents, which is actually why we offer, our tuition is like so economical. We are the cheapest in the game.
I know. I've taken a look at that tuition, and it is like getting Starbucks for a month. Like, literally.
So I like the fact that we have several opportunities for DC residents to improve themselves. I'm here representing our workforce development program here in our community college.
Okay.
UDC is very unique, and we have our own community college. Normally, when you see community colleges, they're feeder schools to other four-year institutions, whereas the University of the District of Columbia, we have our own community college, offering over 22 different associate degrees to DC residents. And within that house, we have 2 sides of the house, I like to say. So we have our degree side, and we also have our certificate side. Okay. Our certificate program are at no cost to DC residents.
I know. Please please look right there in that camera and tell them. Oh, I'm sorry. If you are in that camera.
If you are a DC resident and you live in the district, you have the opportunity to get certification and training at no cost to you as a DC resident.
No cost,
no
ladies and
cost.
gentlemen. No more excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like it's there for the taking. You just have to go out and get it. Faith without works is dead. You can think that you want something all the time, but if you don't put the work in, it's there. Go get it. Free services, like that's amazing.
I'm flabbergasted. I'm not from DC. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. But
shout out to Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, hey VA. I'm often telling residents, please take advantage of this opportunity. I often get students who may have went to a career tech institution or somewhere like to take medical assistant or certified nursing assistant, and they pay thousands of dollars for these courses, and for these 6-week courses that they don't even tend to get a job afterwards, and they could have came here and took the course here for free.
Do you guys have good job placement?
Don't tell anybody we do job placement. However, we do have a working relationship with the Department of Employment Services, whose job is to employ help DC residents get employed. We do have several, in our work program, we do have our partnership developers who their job is to help develop partnerships, internships and externships with different agencies throughout the district to help get our students that hands-on experience that they need to go along with the certifications.
Gotcha. That's great. Yeah.
That's amazing. Where can they go to find this information, Tim?
They can go to udc.edu and look under workforce development.
.edu. udc.edu. Say that 3 times.
Right. We actually just started registration for our fall semester. So we actually just started yesterday. So if anyone's interested in registering for classes, we have 4 sites located throughout the district. One at Bertie Bacchus, which is by Fort Todd Metro Station, P.R. Harris by Anacostia Station, Marion Shedd by Capitol Heights Metro Station, and we also have UMC, which is at the old United Medical Center, the old DC General off Southern Avenue. So we offer several trainings at those locations. If you're interested, the first step is to do an info session. Show up with your DC ID 9:30 or 1:30 either day, Monday through Thursday. You wait to your dream of having a certification. And if you want to also get your degree in your associate's program, I'm your transitions coordinator. So it's my job to help students transition from the certificate programs into our actual degree programs. I strongly encourage folks to take advantage of our workforce development program because it's a great opportunity, one, for you to get a certification under your belt, to help get employment, because our mission is to reduce unemployment and underemployment in the District of Columbia by enhancing the skills of its residents. What better way to do that than to come through our workforce development and get your degree all at the same time?
Amen. Yes, that's amazing. So UDC.edu. We'd like to thank Tim McDuffie for coming through. I appreciate you coming through to the house. You're always
Thank
welcome
you so
here.
much.
Stay tuned for more. We're going to come back with the super funny, hilarious Mike Brown. Stay tuned to these commercials. We got to pay the bills. Shout out to Lock Love at 402 8th Street Northeast. www.loclov.com. Check them out. Be right back with more Thursday Night Tea with Anthony.
Listen, vision. DC's #1 recording studio. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. News, sports, truth with comedy. Community mixed with a little celebrity. Every Thursday night at 6 in the evening. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea.
It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony.
Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Listen, vision. DC's #1 recording studio. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday Night Tea with Alex and Anthony. News, sports, truth with comedy. Community mixed with a little celebrity. Every Thursday night at 6 in the evening. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea.
It's Thursday Night Tea with Alex and
We're back with Thursday Night Tea. Thank you for coming back. I have a very special guest, super funny, hilarious comedian, good friend of mine. We performed together a lot. He has this t-shirt. He brought me a t-shirt, Promote Mike B. He brought a card and a CD, so go check him out on social media. It's Mike, Mike B. Brown on Facebook and social media. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the super funny Mike Brown.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Listen Vision. I just want to say first that this is not a handicap-friendly building. With my leg the way that it is, I almost want to start a foundation to get the ramp up here. I also want to say that was a lot of pressure, Anthony, you put on me to say I was super funny. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how this is going to go, which is cool. I'm married with 2 kids, so I already won for the day. There's no need for me to be home when my kids are sick. I might as well let my wife handle that and be in front of y'all on the Ustream is what I'm trying to get at. Is what I'm trying to get at. I heard myself playing basketball, and it was. And I'm 30-some years old. I hurt myself playing basketball, and the reason why I played basketball was to get in better shape. But the way that I'm looking right now, had I just stayed eating fried chicken, eating potato chips, and sat on the couch, I would have 2 perfectly healthy ankles versus the 1 ankle and lost 20 pounds. Like that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me.
Cankles.
Yeah, I got cankles. But marriage has its privileges. I've learned a lot being married. Man, I've been married for like 2 years. One of the things I learned is the art of the pedicure. One of the things is because when I hurt my ankle, I let my toenails grow out, so I could like grab remote controls and slap my kids, like cut them in the arm, like hey, go back in the room, stuff like that. But pedicures are cool because it's the most legalist way per the Bible where you could commit adultery, and your wife is okay with it. Like after having a Korean rub on your thigh with lotion, see, that's God striking me down because I gave out a secret. That was a jewel I just dropped. You know what I'm saying? Go get a pedicure, get your legs, get your calf muscle rubbed on. That's what I'm gonna leave that joke alone. I don't need to be struck on stage on Ustream. I don't need that. That's not how I want to go out. One of the things I learned about being married to, thanks to my wife, is moisturizing your face after you wash it, which is something that I wasn't too keen of because all the moisturizers are all white liquids on your face. I don't particularly want white liquids on my face, so I wasn't too keen about moisturizing. But after doing it 3 or 4 times and her threatening to take sex away from me, I did it, and it's some of the best advice I've ever got in my life. I can't walk around work with an ashy face. I don't like dry face, is what I'm trying to get at. Thanks to my wife, I don't want an ashy throat or face. Is what I'm trying to get at, people. Yeah, man, I was getting back in shape, and the gym is cool. It's just you got to know where you at before you start purchasing memberships for gyms. Like, for example, know what your weight class is. Like, if you're like big, you need to start off at Planet Fitness. Don't go straight to Goals. Go straight to Planet Fitness. Get your weight down. Then go to LA Fitness, which is like intermediate. It's like right there. It's like you're there, but you're not there in shape. And then immediately after you lose enough weight where you have a cut, maybe a tricep, a deltoid, whatever, then go to Gold's Gym. But don't go straight to Gold's Gym when you're still eating hot dogs. So what I'm saying is you gotta know where you at physically before you start getting your memberships. But it's a little scary going to the gyms, man. Like, the first time I went to the gym, I walked in, all I heard was a lot of clanking and yelling. It was like, yeah, come on, get it up, come on. That's 1 set, come on, get it up. That's 2 sets, come on, let's go. Matter of fact, I'm about to add another plate while you got it up in the air. Let's go, let's do this. And that was just the women. And I was like, ooh, that's not what I signed up for. That's a lot of intimidation. Is that the bell say I'm done? Was I cooking that much? Is that what you're saying, Anthony? I was cooking? Oh, okay, I thought you said I was cooking off the stage. All right, cool, because I'm a cooker. Shoot, that threw me off. I was stroking, Anthony. I was stroking. I'll say this, man. If you're single, because I'm like that uncle at the cookouts who gives unsolicited advice and then leave you wondering what I was talking about. If you're single and you're out here having unsolicited sex, essentially what you're playing is blackjack with your sexual organs. Yeah, here we go. Jewel, I'm about to drop. Essentially, women are the sexy dealers, and the men have all the money, but it's 2017, so the woman might have all the cards and all the money, and the dude might have $20 left to his name trying to come up real quick, all right? So he comes to the card table, and she says, hey, honey, you want to play blackjack? He's like, oh, yeah. So she dealt the cards out and asked him a question. Do you want to hit or stay? He looks her directly in the eye and says, look, I got all this money. I'm going to take a hit. So she throw a card down. Boom. Then she asked him again, honey, do you want to hit or stay? He's like, come on now. I got all this money. I'm here. You looking fly. I'll take another hit. Throw the card down again. Boom. So she asked him again, do you want to hit or stay? Now he's hoping for a push, but instead he says, I'll take that hit. And because he took that hit, he busts. And because he busts, he now has to stay. And because at the stay, he now has to pay the house. And the house always wins. And that was a child support metaphor joke broken down using blackjack. That is my time. Promote my B. Thank y'all.
Listen vision, listen vision. DC's #1 recording studio. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday night tea with Alex and Anthony. News, sports, truth with comedy. Community mixed with a little celebrity. Every Thursday night at 6 in the evening. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea.
It's Thursday night tea with Alex and Anthony.
Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. It's Thursday night tea with Alex and Anthony. Thursday night tea.
We're back with Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. Thank you for everyone who. I know, like, oh my God, I'm looking up to you, like, literally.
These chairs are not Puerto Rican booty friendly.
Oh.
Just letting you know.
I'm just Jenny from the block.
Like, can't get down. Anyway.
It is pouring down outside. It is
Because
I dropped
crazy.
that fire,
I know,
son.
You dropped that fire.
They had to cool it off.
Yeah.
God was like, he's on fire. Cool off the
Now-
earth.
Now God is trying to drown us because you're sad. Mike tried to make God drown us. Lord have mercy.
Absolutely.
So we are going to continue with something that is, I don't know. I'm just at a loss for words. It's something that's kind of close to my heart because I have so many transgender friends and family members. We're going to talk about Little Duval and the Breakfast Club shenanigans. Now he made a statement about that if he ever, this is loosely quoted, if he ever found out after he slept with someone that they were a transgender, that he would kill them. There people can say what they want. Free speech. It's how he feels, and but as a comedian, where's the line? Do we have a line?
I don't think so. Only because, like, I was at a show last week, and it was like the comic was making a bunch of rape jokes that people were like dying laughing about. And so here's the thing about the Little Duval for me. Like, you can't condone murder.
No, seriously, like that is the basic.
If someone misleads you or misrepresents to you, but I think he was talking about like a very specific situation. Again, not condoning what he said, but I think some of the comments that I was reading and some of the feedback that he got was he wants to eliminate the entire transgender community. And that's not what I took from that. I think, it could be the same thing as like, if someone slept with you and the Usher situation and didn't disclose that you had this, like, wouldn't you want to kill that person? You know what I mean? Like, I think it was more, I took it to be more along those lines. But
I think it could have
I know
been,
it's a touchy side, and he obviously could have articulated himself a lot better.
I think that has something to do with it, and I also think that I could have taken that initially when he said it, like, oh, well, that's the reaction that, because I often play like that and say, oh, I killed him, but not on a public platform.
Yeah.
That's something that I would like say intimately, not saying because of this particular situation, but I'm just saying any situation, how you play like that.
Yeah.
But then for him to come back and reiterate it really just put the icing on the cake for me. It's just so many people being killed, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's too loosey-goosey for me. What do you think, Mike?
I also think if it wasn't during the same week that Donald Trump had just said he was going to ban transgenders
Yes.
from the military, he might have gotten a pass because, it was on the Breakfast Club and they were like, he's a comic, right? But he had just said they was going to ban transgenders. So there is a line. Like, I don't think rape jokes can be made funny no matter how good of a writer you are. I don't think white people dropping the N-bomb, no matter how technically sound you are, is funny. It's just You just got to know what that line is. And timing wise, had he did it like maybe a month earlier or a month afterwards, it may not have been that big of a backlash. But he waited like then, and that was a bad look. Because transgenders is trending right now on Twitter. You don't want to talk about anything that's trending on Twitter right now in a negative light.
Yeah, I think the problem is too, like, go ahead.
No! Little Duval, stop! Just stop. Sir, put down your penis, put down your gun.
He said put down your
Just
penis.
stop. You know who you're sleeping with. Stop playing. Men, stop playing, acting like you don't know who you're sleeping with. You know, you have instincts. You have gut instincts. You know. Stop playing. Stop shaming men for liking trans. And then they wouldn't have to say things of this nature. This has been a public announcement from Thursday Night Tea with Anthony.
Okay. Good job. Good job. I think for me, the takeaway is like a lot of people just really, I feel like I live in like this kumbaya world where I just want people to be nice. Like, people just need to be nicer. I think that, Twitter and Facebook and, trolls on the internet, like it's just become so easy to be mean and to not think before you speak, in society today.
Well, speaking of speaking, we have an amazing award-winning spoken word artist here today.
What?
Who's going to share and drop some knowledge with us. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm round of applause for
Pause.
applause for Girl Genius.
Yeah.
And let me give a disclaimer right quick. This is poetry. I do not censor my poets. So there may be some language that you may not be used to on this show. But once again, I do not curtail my poets because it's their creativity. Let her rip.
As the thunder happens right before. I will disclaimer myself in that there is language in only the first one. But speaking to the little Duval situation, I wrote a piece, and so you'll forgive me for my phone. This is, when I tell you this is new, last night was the first time I ever did the poem on stage. So
And you won.
and I won.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So, an open letter to Little Duval, CC, the entire fuckboy crew of the Breakfast Club. I got a joke for you. What's the difference between Little Duval and a sperm? Answer, one has a 1 in 3 million chance of being a decent human being. The other one is Little Duval. Dear Little Duval, I saw your little interview on the Breakfast Club. It was cute, especially the part where you threatened to kill transgender people, then doubled down by saying you should get a pass because you're a comedian. I guess death threats are funny. I guess sexism is funny. I guess rape jokes are funny too. I guess you're funny. I guess your misgendered attempts at poor humor should be dismissed as just jokes. Just like the bodies of Ebony Morgan and Josie Barrios and the 15 other trans women killed just this year. I guess you big mad, because her masculinity is bigger than yours. I guess that's why they call you Lil Duval, because you're so small-minded. I guess I can't expect you to be the bigger person and apologize, but your brand of toxic masculinity has a way of making a punchline out of the bodies of those who've been punched too many times until their bodies resemble less woman and more chalk outline. Isn't it funny? How Black Lives Matter unless they're trans. Joke. How many radio hosts does it take to condone your misogyny? Answer, 3. 2 to laugh at your bullshit and a woman to co-sign. You don't get a pass for using Janet to make a mockery of trans lives. You don't get a pass for pretending to be PC. You don't deserve a platform to stand on unless you're willing to stand up. Yes, I know. He's entitled to his opinion. But I'm also entitled to call out a fuckboy when I see one, because being a black woman in this country means being simultaneously sexualized and dehumanized. Because black women are the first to rock for you while you throw stones at them. Because irony is trying to prove your manhood while rebuking their womanhood. Because you're worried about what's between her legs and she's worried she won't make it home tonight. But I guess when Dee Wingham was stabbed 119 times, that was funny, right? I guess a trans woman minding her business, existing, breathing is funny, right? I guess when the next one dies, they'll list her cause of death as laughter, right? Trans bodies are not your punchline, but you are definitely the joke. And speaking of jokes, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Lil Duval.
Little Duval who?
Exactly.
So
Wowzers. We have 2 more pieces from you?
Yeah. So we'll take on the second one. It's funny, I wrote this one way before the whole Pepsi incident thing happened, and it seems to be relevant. This is called Slogans. And if you recognize them, please feel free to, join in as you recognize things. On proving to companies the stupidity of racism in advertising. I've taken about 3 dozen popular ad slogans and inserted the word racism in place of the product name. The best part of waking up is racism in your cup. Racism, it's good to the last drop. Racism, breakfast of champions. Racism gives you wings. Snap, crackle, pop, racism. Silly rabbit, racism is for kids. Racism, American by birth, rebel by choice. Racism, have it your way. Racism, I'm loving it. Racism, the choice of the next generation. America runs on racism. Racism, when you care enough to send the very best. Racism, what's in your wallet? Save money, live better, racism. There's some things money can't buy, and for everything else, there's racism. Between love and madness lies racism. Racism because you're worth it. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's racism. Racism, reach out and touch someone. Racism, it's everywhere you want to be. Racism, just do it. Racism, can you hear me now? Racism, there's an app for that. Racism, don't leave home without it. Racism, melts in your mouth, not in your hands. Racism, I put that, it's on everything. Racism, taste the sensation. Racism, makes mouths happy. Racism, taste the rainbow. Racism, what can brown do for you? I can't believe it's not racism. Like a good neighbor, racism's there. You're in good hands with racism. Racism, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more in your car insurance. Racism, make-believe. Racism, solutions for a small planet. Racism, because life is complicated enough. Racism, is it in you? Racism, we'll keep the light on for you. Only you can prevent racism, and finally racism, it just keeps going and going and going. All right. This is called proofreading. By profession, I am not a poet. I am a professional writer. I actually work for the government, but I'm a internal comms person. I've done some tech writing, so yeah. This is a very short 1.5 minutes of poem, so you'll get some references in here to what I do for a living. It's called proofreading. Note, in the editing world, the hashtag symbol means insert a space. The word stet means do not change. I'm tired of hearing about black boys, bold, italic, dying at the hands of cops. Insert space. I'm tired of the black girl, bold, italic, suicide, insert quote chronicles. I thought he had a weapon. Strike through. I was in fear for my life. Rewrite. He was aggressive. Strike through. Red line. Indent paragraph. Insert space. Between knot and noose, insert space. Between story and truth, find, replace. Truth with the parts they actually want you to know, insert space. We were not asking for it. Insert space between us and this trending narrative. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Our name, add asterisk for emphasis. Do not. Insert space between us and this trending narrative. Hashtag, I'm tired of writing poems like this. Insert space between dead boy in Cleveland and dead girl in North Carolina, subscript. Dead boy in Ferguson, dead girl in Texas, subscript. No guilt, subscript. Not guilty, subhuman. Oops, I mean subscript. No charges. justifiable, no proof, on video, administrative leave, insert space, hands up, don't shoot, insert space, I can't breathe, capitalize. Insert space for me to breathe between headlines. Insert space between the lie you expect us to swallow in this chokehold. Insert space between a mugshot and a gunshot. Insert space between another dead body and the next hashtag stop. Add punctuation. Insert space. Insert hashtag. Dead lion newsworthy. Dead black boy not so much. Hashtag you'll remember Cecil's name before Sandra or Sam Stett. Don't worry, there'll be another insert space in the obituaries tomorrow. Stett. Don't worry, there'll be another insert space name to remember tomorrow. Stett. Don't worry, there'll be justice. Delete. Tomorrow. Incorrect sentence structure is easier to fix than incorrect sentencing structures. Insert space. Editor's note. Please proof for inconsistencies and poor grammar. Watch for overused cliches, misuse of action, verbs, tense shifts, and possible plagiarism. We'll need to do a thorough reading of rights or violations thereof. Please send back to author for extensive corrections.
All right.
So we have a quick announcement right quick from Teresa.
All right, so next Wednesday, 8/9 at 8:30 p.m. at the DC Draft House, we have a benefit show for Jason Weems. If you go to drafthousecomedy.com, I believe, and you click on August 9th, you'll see the link for the tickets and also the link for the GoFundMe. He had a near-fatal asthma attack. He's got $61,000 in bills, and we are raising money for him. We've got all kinds of donations coming in, including a dinner for 10 from a celebrity chef. So you don't want to miss it next Wednesday.
All right, and we thank you for tuning in. After this, we'll be at the Bachelor's Meal over in Southeast. Thank you for tuning in to Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. We have the Spotlight Over the City coming up next. And before we had 3-6 Nation, shout out to Jacob, our engineer, Paige, our lovely intern, who is her last day. Thank you so much for your help. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. Thanks, Mike Brown. Thanks, Teresa. Thank everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
This is my favorite picture.
DC's #1 recording studio. Thursday Night Tea.